Everybody, welcome to Thursday's chat. I am in my sewing room, which is, as always, still a wreck, or a wreck again, I should say. I got sidetracked from my organization by a couple of patterns found, or that I wrote, and I've been making stuff. And look, I have lint on me already, minutes ago. So, how are you guys all doing today? I hope everybody's having a great Groundhog Day. Colleen's the technical issues, and I've got my fingers crossed that we won't have technical issues today. So, it's out for us. And I had a nice chat with another creator earlier today. We were talking about various and sundry things when it comes to making videos. Who she is. So thank you, thank you, thank you. But I had to run because I had to take a shower, guys. It's a good thing that YouTube does not have smell-o-vision because I would have taken a shower. You probably would have smelled me anyway. So I've got a couple of things here. One is something that I pulled out in response to a conversation that I had with somebody a few days ago, and it was offline, so you guys won't be privy to the conversation. But the person was talking about they don't have confidence in their own quilting, in their how they finish their quilts. Hello, Colleen, how are you? And I told the girl, I said, I'll try and start with small stuff. This is a table runner. Some of you may recognize the pattern. It's actually one that Tiffany has on her channel. And when I made it, I was like, oh, I don't know how I want to quilt it. And I had just watched Angela Walters do Pebbles. And I thought, oh, I want to try that. You're unmedicated and sober. Okay, Colleen. That's a good thing. So I really wanted to try Pebbles. And I did. I'm hoping this camera picks this up. I did straight line quilting around. This is a card trick, is the name of the block. And then I quilted Pebbles on it. And at the time that I did it, the pebbles made me, I was like, oh, I'm not very good at this. And I don't like how it turned out, that neither. And then some of our daughters. And one of my daughters was like, did you do all those lines on there yourself? And I said, yeah. I said, I quilted it myself. And she said, I could never do that. I don't understand. And I was like, I don't know. I didn't think I did a really good job. But the more I look at this table runner, I picked up a thread off the table. My table's covered in stuff. Look at it, the more I really like it. Just a table runner to go on my dining table. And I think I want to put it on my dining table. But don't be afraid to try a technique, especially on something small, because what you think looks really funky whenever you first look may actually turn out to be something you really like. So definitely check it out. Yeah, so Sherlock, I was just sewing. I did straight line quilting on the squares, and then I put pebbles on it. Now, they're probably not as round or as cute as Angela Walters. Hi, Marie. But I like it, and I think it looks really good. And nobody who is going to be looking at my table runner probably has watched Angela Walters, so they don't know I did it wrong. I quilted it, and it looks really cute. So don't be afraid to try something. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, and then now that I've shown you oh, I'm so moment, let me show you I'm not so proud of myself moment. Hey, Marie, thank you so much. This looks like a flower basket block, right? Well, it's wrong. The pattern that I was working from is in the Quilt Builder card deck, and it's supposed to have two squares here that are the same color as the basket. So it looks like you've got an upside down V. You've got a basket that has, 4 points on it. But I made it wrong because I changed it to how I wanted to make it. I wanted to do the Magic 8 HST, and I didn't want to make all those little tiny, one by one. So I changed it, and this is what I came up with, and I'm calling this a flower power block. And it's pretty. Yes, it is, Colleen. I like it. I like 8 or 10 of them so far, and I have more cut to make. I'm going to make a full quilt out of this. Yeah, you tried. Exactly. I like the one you made. I like that black background, Sylvia. It's really pretty. Sitting here yesterday, and I was rocking along. Did I miss somebody coming in? No, Marie's here. Okay. I said hi to everybody, I think. So I'm rocking along yesterday, and I'm making blocks, and I'm like, oh, this is going so easily. And I moved in here where I have my square up ruler, etc. Yeah, it's wrong, Marie. It's not, and it took me a little while to figure out what I had done wrong to it. Because I was like, it doesn't match the pattern that I'm working off of, but what did I do wrong? And it's because I made 8 HSTs for flowers instead of 6, and then 2 for the basket. So here's I getting all confident, and she can do this with that. My written instructions, right? Tell me exactly how I'm supposed to do this, but I can wing it. So yesterday, let's see if you can see this. I made another block, and I had it already put together. And I thought, I've done this wrong. So I thought I had done it wrong. So I sewed the other 2 sides together and got it to look like this. So this morning it made me so frustrated. This tealy blue, I like it. So I came back in here this morning. All wonky. And the wonky block isn't just throw the wonky block in my quilt. There's the wonky donkey for you, Sylvia. So I have to take this all and I'll do that after the live, or maybe during the live, but I wanted to show you guys that even when you write your own pattern, you can still do things wrong. Oh, Marie, I'm sorry. I'm experimenting with been having problems with YouTube and with Zoom trying to go live. So I'm trying to do it on my phone and than what we've been getting. My other alternative, because we're not moving for quite some time now, is that I'm going to have to do all of my chats with you guys as premieres. Yeah, country internet stink. But the other alternative is to do all of my chats as premieres. And it works, but it doesn't let me respond during the live to you guys. And I don't like that. I would rather be able to respond directly. So if there's a question or something, I banned somebody, or Colleen did for me, a couple of weeks ago. Live, they kept harassing various people who were talking. And I like to be able to respond to that right away rather than, oh, it happened last week. Now I got to say something about it in the next slide. So I really am trying to figure out a way to do this so we're all. Hello, Don. Oh, I'm sorry your power's flickering. Are you getting a storm? You're in Texas. You shouldn't be getting. Yeah, it's not. I don't like that. I don't like the way that he was talking to people. And yeah, I've got done so far for blocks. I went ahead and made a whole bunch of the half square triangle ahead of time so that it would be easier just to pick up the colors and do them. And that one's got a different color background because I already had that HST set made for me, the year of the scrap. I do like the fact that I can see while I'm looking at the phone. So that's a kind of doing it on the phone. But that's the blocks I have done so far. And I'm debating are going to be a quilt on their own or if I'm going to work them into a quilt with these guys. Now, and she drew it from a quilt that she picked up, I think, at a thrift store, she said. So I've made, I don't know how many of these Scotty dogs, but I'm obsessed with them. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 these. And I want to make 3 pieces cut for 3 more. And then I'm thinking I may give all the Scotty dogs names like I did with the chicken. You know what I'm talking about? I may give all the Scotty dogs names. And I looked up Scottish dog names on suggestion from Sherlock earlier. And I have a whole bunch of cute names that I may put, because the Scotty dogs are kind of turned on point too, with the way Beth made this. So I'm thinking that I may put them in a quilt with the flower block. What do you guys think? I'm curious. They aren't really the same fabrics, but they're all scrap fabrics. So in that way, they are the same fabrics. Down to 2 people. Isn't that badly? That's not good. I could be here all by myself. I don't know. But I'm all in one. And the reason I'm trying to decide that now is because I need to decide if I'm going to put sashing or put my blocks on point. So these are what I've been making. And you can see some of them go one direction, some of them go edge applique on these. So that means I'm just sewing a straight line 1/4 inch from the edge on all of them. And I'm going to let these fray as this thing I want to do with this little pattern. I got a text from Colleen. Okay, Colleen. So the other thing I may do is I want to put this pattern to my embroiderance software and see if I can get it. My embroidery machine will make them. So you lay the pieces down as you go and it embroiders them. I don't think it should be super, just take it into scan and cut and then do the embroiderance from there. But this is a great scrappy project, and this is all I've got left for scraps from all those blocks that I've made so far. So it's using up a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm going to show it to you guys. So we'd have that happen. I kind of feel like Colleen today. Live earlier, and I swear I want some of whatever she was taking before she went live. Because she was happy. I thought she was on Willy Wonky chat today. A mess over here. You guys ever do that? Where you're going along and you're doing great and you're getting things done, and then you step back and you realize that it's not working for you. I've been organizing my sewing room for over a month, and I've been going through all the little stuff and trying to get rid of and condense, and you can see over my shoulder I have a bunch of stuff sitting on that table because about a week ago I realized that I don't want to hide all of my scraps, which is what I was trying to do. I was trying to color sort them and put them away somewhere. But that doesn't really work for me because and I can't move the camera. I'm afraid if I do that I will lose my connection completely. But I like having a pile of fabric right here beside me on my ironing board that I can pull from so that I can mix things. And I've got all of that doggone it fabric that I had left after making wallets for all the grandkids. I've got the rest of that layer cake over here. And then I've got some other scraps over here that I'm using for making various things. And I want to work the doggone it fabric into my flower baskets. And I am not the person who is ever going to have a completely organized, clean sewing. I did bring my project bags in here and find a place to hang them. They're hanging up like right in front of me. So if I want to pull one of those project bags down, like I've got, let me pull this one here. This is my pineapple ruler project bag. I can pull this down and work from this pile of scraps to make some pineapples without too much hassle. I'm not seeing chat at all, so I apologize for that. So if you're asking me questions, I'm not seeing them. I don't know if that would be a question. I go back and look at the chat in a little bit. I will try to answer those questions, at least in the comments, if not on my next live. But I'm thinking about changing my times. Or nobody that I follow, so I won't be interfering with anybody else's time. Earlier in the day on Thursday. 10:30 on Thursday seems to be open. I know Brandy just moved her chat to Monday. Maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock on Thursday mornings rather than 2 in the afternoon. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One, it works like there's less interference with the satellite at the. Now, if I still have real problems with the internet at those times, then I may have to, like I said, go to doing the chat. Guys answer me later because the chat isn't showing up on my phone and my computer over here is off. I did try to turn it on before the live, but I like being able to look directly into the camera and talk to you guys. I always feel like I'm looking over here and reading, and then, so it doesn't feel like I'm engaging directly. And I like engaging with you guys. So the premier idea is a last resort. That's not something I really want to do if we can find a way around it. So, and I do have light here. See? You get to see all my big smile. So, and no, I'm not going to sing. Colleen already did enough of that today. If I ever get all the kinks worked out on this, I'm going to type that up for you guys so you can make one block. And I figured out, I don't know how good my math is. Remember, I am not the maths person, but I was figuring out or trying to figure out the yardage to make a quilt with like 30 blocks in it, because that's what I was thinking would work. You can see I'm real technical and I use really technical tools. I have a pen and that's how I figured this. I don't have any of those fancy design programs. I played with the free version of EQ8 a while back, and I only played with it for a couple of days because it didn't work the way my brain works, or it doesn't work the way my brain works. So I need to figure out some kind of program. Not really well versed on other technical programs, but maybe, just maybe, I'll get there. Let me get a drink here. There we go. You saw that. Saw. If my live tomorrow doesn't save, ice storm, rain has fallen at dawns. That's as far here. Let's see. That's not good, Dawn. Yeah, that's the only negative, in my opinion, to living somewhere where it gets cold. I moved to Toledo. That's on hold until we kind of figure some things out. Oh, and you guys can see my hands. Oh, sorry. Probably shouldn't do that one. But as far as the room changing that I need to do, Thank you, YouTube. I've got a space underneath the shelf over here that runs behind my computer, and I'm almost thinking I may want to make baskets for that in different colors and then put a sampling of different colors, like make one for reds, one for blues, one for greens, and then put a sampling of those colors in there and then put the majority of them away somewhere. All of us are quilters. We all know we have tons of scraps. We have more scraps than would fill up any small container in the world. And the other reason that I moved in here, this is a Quilt in a Day 6.5-inch triangle square up roller. And this was the biggest reason I wanted to move all of this sewing in here. This is where the way it works is you take your quilt blocks, you sew them together, you cut them in half, and then you can use this ruler, you line it up along this on there, and you can get the size of triangle. There's squares a way to do that, but that square up ruler makes it easier, and then you can just go down here to the little corner and clip your little, there's my little scissors, and clip your little dog ear off before you iron it. It works out pretty quickly. I usually use the rotary cutter to take that corner off. But then when I unfold it, I don't have great big dog ears hanging out at the sides. See? And that was the biggest reason I wanted to come in here, because I keep that ruler right here in this drawer in front of me. And then whenever I go to make my little squares, I have everything I need just to finish it and go on. And since I'm planning on making a project where the tools are. And do you guys do the same thing I do, where you get like hung up on a pattern and just can't stop making it? Like this one. I am so hung up on this and those Scotty dogs that like my brain won't work on anything else. I sat down and tried to come up with something for another project that I've got coming up. Can't do it. Brain will not shift. It's like, do this until we're done doing it. And I want find a way to be able to put these up like on the for you guys to see. And my chicken quilt top over there is too busy for me to put these up on and feel like I can actually see it. Into the design wall that's out in the hallway, because that's where I have my design wall, because there's not enough wall space in here. But I need to take up and see what I want to do as far as that goes. I'm envious of people who have big design. Even more envious. That's how the lady who made the Scotty dogs originally lays hers out on the floor. And then she just picks them up and sews them together. But I can't crawl around on the floor anyway, so that's not going to happen. All right, guys, the last thing I see in chat is where my quilt about an ice storm. I don't see anything else. Looks like that's the last part of the chat that it's going to show me. So, I don't know. Mods, have you put in all the, we'll just do a half hour. But I want to make sure that everybody's links got shared. And Sylvia's, they're both over 600 and they are rocking it. Sylvia's at 5 and Colleen's at 675. They did it. Stephanie Stitches was in Colleen's chat earlier. She's over 11K. Yay, big thumbs up. And you guys, she mentioned in Colleen's chat that none of the winners from last Saturday have contacted her. If you haven't watched last Saturday's live, go watch it, especially if you entered and picked a package number. If you don't claim by the time this Saturday's live starts, she's going to redraw and you'll lose your per to do that. And let's see, what else is the latest one? I have thread all over me. Sewing glitter, right? Oh, and I'm going to be visiting with my seam ripper here in a little bit. But I want to make sure everybody gets their link shared, even though I can't see the chat. And hopefully all of you will have a great week, a great weekend, a nice Groundhog's Day. I'm sorry that the groundhog saw his shadow, which means 6 more weeks of winter. Um, we'll get some more cold air here in Florida, but it won't be as bad as you guys up north are getting. I'm sorry. I'm not bragging. I'm just guys. And hopefully it'll be mild 6 more weeks of winter. How's that? All right, guys. I'm going to say goodbye for now. And I'm going slow. Like I said, I can't see the chat. So I'm assuming and hoping that all the links are in now. Thank you guys all for coming. I appreciate you spending your time with me. Let's see, I'm going to borrow from Mom and Pop. Big hugs to everybody. I'm going to borrow from Colleen, not because they're nice, but because you are. Y'all have a great day, and thank you for being here. Bye bye. And